authentic, vintage Vet Stadium seats.
Each pair of seats comes with its own certificate of authenticity.
And each carries the unique patina that can only come with the passage of time. Mustard.
Vet Stadium seats are on sale now. Call 215-463-1000 or visit Phillies.com.
2003 Chevy cars and trucks. The facts are in. Fact, your local Chevy dealer is moving out the 03s. Did we mention we're moving out the 03s? Get 0% APR financing for qualified buyers on every 2003 Chevy except SSR. Or get $4,500 cash back on Chevy Trailblazer. Or $5,500 total cash back on Trailblazer EXT or Suburban. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Well, my old bank had branches that were open 7 days a week. It had them in Jenkintown, in Abington, in Willow Grove, which is great if you live in Jenkintown, in Abington, in Willow Grove. I live in Glenside. Well, that's the last of it.
The original rugged Nissan Pathfinder, and coming soon, the new full-size Pathfinder Armada. Two Pathfinders, countless adventures.
Haven't you always wanted to own a piece of Vet Stadium? It's like owning a piece of history. It's like owning a piece of my soul. And now you can, by purchasing a pair of authentic, vintage Vet Stadium seats.
Each pair of seats comes with its own certificate of authenticity.
And each carries the unique patina that can only come with the passage of time. Mustard.
Vet Stadium seats are on sale now. Call 215-463-1000 or visit Phillies.com.
2003 Chevy cars and trucks. The facts are in. Fact, your local Chevy dealer is moving out the 03s. Did we mention we're moving out the 03s? Get 0% APR financing for qualified buyers on every 2003 Chevy except SSR. Or get $4,500 cash back on Chevy Trailblazer. Or $5,500 total cash back on Trailblazer EXT or Suburban. See your local Chevy dealer today.
It came along at the perfect time. A multi-purpose stadium built to suit a team on the rise. As their legion of new stars grew in stature, it served as their stage, and a grand one it was. It never became a shrine, but it did reflect its city's character. Rugged, worn, tested, unyielding. Veterans Stadium has one mark of distinction. It is the only home in which the Phillies became world champions. Final innings have been played. Now we say goodbye to a dear friend whose time has come.
And welcome back to Veterans Stadium. Time now for some final memories from this ballpark. I'm Andy Musser, pleased to be back here today working with Chris Wheeler for some of the memories that we shared over the years in this park. And Wheels, I don't know about you, but a lot of our life was spent here.
I was thinking that just looking at you. You know, you say, what are you thinking about right now? I'm thinking about all the great times that you and I had together working on radio and television here and back in the old WCAU days. I tell everybody my recollections of Veterans Stadium started on April 10th on opening day when you got me tickets. And I sat in section 334 and I was a fan watching the game that day. So started out as a fan, was lucky enough to work here all these years and work with you all those years. And it's great, Andy. I mean, it's been a fun day. It's been a very emotional day, and I'm sure what we're going to go through right now is not going to leave a dry eye in the house.
I suppose that's true. With Harry doing the MC, why, that's almost guaranteed. You know, talking about Wheels getting tickets for me that opening day, he wound up paying for those tickets in the certain sense that I was working for WCAU in those days, and my family was here, and they needed the ride home. I had to go straight to work, so Wheels took Unju, Alan, and Luann back home.
Yes, I did.
Did I ever thank you for that?
Yes, and it was a small price to pay for being here on that freezing cold afternoon and seeing the Phillies win. I think it was 4-1 over the Expos that day, and it was just just a great time.
I don't know whether you remember or not, but in the press box, they handed out this little keychain. Opening of the ballpark, and I have carried that chain every day since.
That's amazing. I remember having one of those too. I have no idea where it is right now.
Let's take a look at Veterans Stadium and some of the firsts and lasts that happened here.
Well, we were just talking about April 10th, Andy. Boots Day was the first batter. Bo got the first hit. Ron Hunt of the Expos scored. Saw Don Money last night. We're talking about that he had hit the first home run here. And, of course, Senator Jim Bunning won the ball game, 55,000 here then. And here's what happened here today.
Yeah, today's memories, these will be the answers to trivia questions down the line. Interesting, too, that the crowd today was 3,000 larger than it was when the ballpark opened.
Yeah, well, this place, it's funny. This place got to where you can hold over 60-some thousand at one time. And then, of course, seats were taken out to put in some different luxury boxes and other things like that. And the baseball crowds now are the sellouts are 58 plus, and that's what we had here all weekend. So, yeah, it started out 55, went over 60, and finishes up in 58. Next year, it'll be 42, 43 in that area with the new Citizens Bank Park.
And you don't see anybody leaving, by the way. It's like a fireworks night, except that this is going to be one of a kind. We've had so many great fireworks shows, and Wills, it also occurs to me that, of course, we're focused on baseball as everybody would expect, but we have to realize that over the years, this ballpark was home to a lot of different things, notably the Eagles, of course, but the great concerts that have been here, some boxing matches, the Army-Navy games, and even some religious revivals.
Oh, yeah. Well, this has been a tremendous facility. It's probably much maligned. I think as much of anything, Andy, was because of the turf that so many people talked about in a negative way, but the Phillies never felt that way about it. Here's your vet season, regular season totals over the years, and look at the innings that were played. Gosh, I'm sitting here. What got me when I looked at it is I think I saw every one of them of those innings that have been played here, and all the attendance of over 66 million, and you see 4,000 home runs. It's just, there it is. I look at the vet right now, and we're going to close it down here with some spectacular post-game show, and we don't want to let on to a lot of it's going to be, but Larry Schenk has been working on this for, oh gosh, and this time last year we went to Cincinnati, Andy, and saw the Reds close, and he was there for that and for some other closings at different ballparks and taking notes on what they want to do or don't want to do. So, the way they do things around here, it'll be done right.
Your dear and good friend Denny Lehman was here today. Denny worked here for a long time. He served us our final cheeseburgers at Connie Mack Stadium. And Denny, of course, as I say, is now with the Indians. And I said to Denny, does anybody do ceremonies better than the Phillies? And he said, nobody in baseball.
No, they do a great job. There are a lot of people here that really have a feel for that, for the party that was here last night at the Constitution Center. And that was a great time to see everybody. And this is going to be very, very special today. I mean, it's one of those ones where you kid around about a VCR alert. Well, if you're watching us right now, pop a tape in the VCR. You might want to see this again, because they have done a terrific job in putting together a wonderful program we're going to have for you shortly.
Unfortunately, the Phillies could not win this final game. It would have been nice to go out on a happy note with a victory here today. But the Phils came up short. But I think, Wills, thinking back on this year, the final year at Veterans Stadium, it was not a disappointment at all. I think fans may have a little disappointing feeling about it right now, because coming down the stretch it didn't happen. But you look back on this year, when you leave spring training, your goal is to stay in the race all year, and the Phillies did that.
Yeah, well, it started to fall apart, unfortunately, a little bit last weekend with the Reds losses and then losing to Florida. But, as you said, it was a fun year, Andy.
Well, things are getting ready on the field now. We're going to take a break and come back, so don't go away. The final moments of Veterans Stadium coming up very shortly.
The Hyundai Elantra, a comparison, more standard features, and a more powerful engine than a Honda Civic LX. All for over $2,000 less when comparably equipped. And only the Elantra is protected by America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Looks like we have a winner. Test drive the Hyundai Elantra, nicely equipped for just $12,199 at your Hyundai dealer. Hurry into the Hyundai winning season clearance and get up to $2,000 cash back or 0% APR for up to 60 months.
Veterans Stadium getting ready to celebrate the final moments here. The final innings already have been played. It's Andy Musser with Chris Wheeler. And Wheels, a lot of folks that I ran into today were very, very, very nostalgic about these ceremonies here today. It's amazing that so many feelings have built up for what really is just an edifice.
Yeah, well, I think it's a game of baseball that does it too, Andy. I mean, this sport brings people together, brings families together, because, you know, you play all year, it becomes part of people's lives. And there were, you know, everybody wants to talk about some of the bad teams that were here, and there have been bad teams, but there were great teams here too. You had 3 World Series in this stadium. I mean, that's a lot of World Series and many, many good times, and that's probably part of the whole thing, I think. The Fanatic, his last dance.
Yeah. And you had 2 All-Star games played here, and some great opposing players. I mean, the great Phillies are going to be back, and you'll be seeing them here before too long. But when you stop and think about all the opposing players that came through this ballpark, it's just amazing.
Yeah, lots of great. I saw Willie Mays play here, and Hank Aaron, and so many great players. Well, here's what the Veterans Stadium looks like, of course, and now you're going to take Citizens Bank Park and drop it in there, and it's much smaller. You know, the dimensions are much smaller. It's much more fan-friendly. There are going to be a lot of angles in there, you know, you get inside the park, home runs, triples, and those kind of things. And of course, the seating is really, really close. So a very, very different. It's a baseball park. I mean, this place was built as a multi-purpose stadium, and it was okay for baseball, okay for football. The new football field across the street evidently is great for football, and this place, Andy's going to be great for baseball.
I had an occasion to be able to see a football game at the Link already, and it is outstanding. And the Fanatic has some friends joining him here this afternoon. It's funny, Will, when you think back at the time that these multi-purpose stadiums were built, they were a compromise in a certain sense. We found that out as the years went by. But really, among the multi-purpose stadiums built, this, I believe, was one of the best.
Oh, absolutely was one of the best, and has been here the longest. I mean, the rest of them have crumbled, basically. St. Louis still has theirs, but theirs is very different because they don't have a football team there anymore, so they were able to make it into a baseball stadium. And they're going to have a new ballpark in a couple of years in St. Louis. So, yeah, this thing has held up fine. It's had its share of problems over the year, but it's also had a lot of good things. My point still is, if it hadn't been for the turf, if this had been grass and dirt here, you're going to hear a lot less bad things said about it over the years because most of it came from the turf. We're going to head on down to the field right now and join PA announcer Dan Baker.
To help with the closing ceremonies, please welcome the person who was the master of ceremonies right here at Philadelphia Veterans Stadium when the Vet opened in 1971. The voice of the Phillies, Hall of Fame broadcaster, Harry Kellis. Harry Kellis.
Thank you. Thank you all. I love you. Veterans Stadium. God bless you. Thank you so much. Veterans Stadium is a building. The memories come from the great people who work here. The players who grace this field, donning the uniform of the Fightin' Phils. And most of all, the memories come from you, the best fans in America. We love you. There are some of those who can't be with us today who are looking down on us from above. We thank you. Whitey, I know you're with us today. Thank you, Whitey. There's been a lot said and written about Veterans Stadium. Skip Denenberg, a Philadelphia songwriter, folk singer, and Phillies fan, said it best in this musical video you will see on Fanavision. It's a place we will remember forever. As you know, baseball is a game of numbers. In the history of Veterans Stadium, 2,617 regular season and 25 postseason games have been played here. More than 500 players have worn Phillies pinstripe uniforms during more than 24,000 innings. The biggest number of all, it's you fans. More than 68 million of you fans have been here to see the Phils play. Thank you. God question. Maybe you saw the last game at Connie Mack Stadium or the first game here at the Vet. Now you're taking part in another historic moment in Phillies history. Perhaps you came to your first game of the Vet with your dad or your mom, a special one-on-one occasion you will always cherish. Perhaps you came to your first game as a family. Family outings have always been one of the many beauties of this great game. Maybe you came with a large group or just a couple of friends or neighbors. Perhaps you had your first date here at the Vet. Maybe even got engaged. It has happened here very often. Perhaps the Vet was a place you saw only on TV or heard about on radio broadcasts. My colleagues and I were honored to make you part of the Vet scene through these 33 years. Veterans Stadium was once a crown jewel, the pride of the city, the team, and the fans. Because of Father Time, the Vet's undergone a little wear and tear. It's only fitting that Veterans Stadium be treated with the utmost respect as we begin the closing ceremonies. One more memory we can take with us today. Before we begin the final curtain call, we want to recognize a very special person. He is in his 48th year with the Phillies. He served the organization as a scout, director of the minor leagues, general manager, twice as manager, including the 1983 National League Championship Phillies. Turn your attention to Fanavision for a video highlighting the career of a man who was the architect of the great Phillies teams of the 70s and 80s.
Hi, this is Dallas Green. If you had to select an MVP for the 33 years of Veterans Stadium, my most valuable person has to be the Pope, Paul Owens. With almost half a century in professional baseball, I've never seen a better judge of talent or a better ability to know what's in a man's heart. Nobody outworked him, and nobody gave back more to the sport. Most of the players selected by you, the fans, to the All-Veterans Stadium team came courtesy of Mr. Paul Owens. Take a bow, Pope. You certainly deserve it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul the Pope Owens. Thank you, Pope, for the wonderful years you put in to make Veterans Stadium such a great memory for us. Paul the Pope Owens. Veterans Stadium truly is a field of memories, and we are going to go through the years. We ask you to keep your eyes on the field and Fanavision as we go through the years of Veterans Stadium, starting with the very first year, 1971.
We want to mention to you, for those of you who are tuning in the broadcast today, there is going to be no further announcement on the PA as these various players come out. It's going to be done in silence for effect. And we want to keep you abreast of who's going to come out. And you see Senator Jim Bunning, Rick Wise, and Don Money.
First year of Veterans Stadium. Jim Bunning with the first game. Rick Wise, of course, pitched the no-hitter that year in Cincinnati, hit 6 home runs for the Phils, and Don Money hit the first home run at Veterans Stadium. Their longtime employees are going to lead the guys out with the flags. That's Michael DeMuzio right there, leading the 71 guys out.
Ready for the 72 team, including Terry Harmon, Mike Ryan, and Willie Montañez.
There's Irish now living up in New Hampshire and retired and just enjoying himself. And the great Guillermo Willie the Philly Montañez coming out now.
'73 being represented now by Mike Roganzinski and Wayne Twitchell.
Rogo still makes his home in the area, of course. And Twitch was a member of the All-Star team. There he is.
'74 being represented by a true gentleman, a fellow who apparently hasn't aged today, Gentleman Jim Lonborg.
Dr. Jim Lonborg, right? A doctor of dental surgery. There's Lonnie. Great hero with the Red Sox.
This next gentleman should gain quite a round of applause as soon as they realize who's coming out, because he was voted many times one of the fan all-time favorites, TT, Tony Taylor.
Tony, longtime member of the Florida Marlins organization, and now basically retired, living in South Florida.
To 76. That was my first year of joining you, Wheels. And skipper Danny Ozark.
The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
He's having a great time being back here this weekend. You know, it's been fun to catch up with Danny and talk about the old times. What a good guy.
Led the team to 3 division titles, 76, 77, 78.
And he looks like he's going out to make a pitching change, and here comes Gene Garber behind him, a guy he used to bring into games.
Gino would come in and stop hitting streaks like he did with Pete Rose. Now we go to 1977, and this will be represented by one of baseball's funny guys, Jay Johnstone.
I love Jay here in Philadelphia. Of course, he worked with us on the Prism telecast.
'78. One of the great defensive outfielders with the Phillies, Jerry Mud Martin.
Jerry, still a member of the organization, works in the minor leagues.
Full house here at Veterans Stadium to watch these ceremonies. To 79, representative of that team coming out, Warren Brewstar out of the bullpen.
Brewman, sinker slider, those nasty eyes. Nobody really liked to hit off him. He did a great job here for a number of years, and he's still off. Another guy who's also a member of the organization working in the minor leagues. Now comes 1980.
Yeah, and we'll have quite a few representatives of this club coming back, as you might imagine. There's the skipper, Dallas Green. Marty Bystrom, Dickie Knowles, Del Unser, Ruben Amaro Jr., and John Vukovich. By the way, Dallas obviously obviously enjoying himself. He was hoarse today, yet. Laryngitis.
A lot of guys were thankful for that.
For Dallas to be anywhere near silent is a miracle. There's Dickie Knowles.
Yeah, so Marty come out. It was 5-0 in September. Dickie Knowles, who pitched so well, of course, knocked George Brett down in that World Series game. A lot of people think that changed some things around. Dickie does a great job in the organization now, helping with drug and alcohol counseling.
There's Del Unser.
How many big hits did he get?
Boy, he was amazing off the bench. The world champions that year, and we're wearing gold rings from that year, the only one in the history of the organization.
Kind of neat, too. All these guys that are coming out are still working for the organization, except for Marty Bystrom, who's in private business, but the other guys are all part of the organization.
Ruben Amaro Sr., and of course his son is the assistant general manager of the team, and Ruby involved as well.
Our boy Johnny Bucco.
Third base coach Johnny. He's a wired-in fixture around here.
He can smile. Johnny doesn't smile a whole lot on the field, but there he goes.
Team. Dick Ruthven represents the 81ers.
And Rufus, of course, was a big part of the 80 team, and also an 81 pitcher of the Braves and the Cubs. Son's a pretty good ball player at Georgia.
To go too far to get the 82 representative. Just down in the dugout, we're talking about Greg Gross. Gigi, like Unser, lots of big hits that 82 team.
And Greg Gross is finishing up another year as a Phillies hitting instructor. Andy said you have to go far to get this guy. Still makes his home in the area.
As we move along to 83, that one, of course, was a pennant-winning year as well. Phillies against the Orioles in the World Series that year, and Bobby Dernier gave us a real thrill that year. And so did Al Holland, who will be right behind Bobby.
Bobby Dernier just did a head first that night. He had that inside the park home run where he slid head first. That was great.
Hope appreciated that.
Yeah. Here comes Bullet, Al Holland.
Mr. T, they called him those days. Broadcast colleague who has been such a good friend to all of us, L.A. Larry Anderson.
Hard to believe he goes back that far. Yeah, we just reminded Andy walked right by home plate because he wasn't real familiar with that area.
Heard you guys kid about that quite a bit.
Yeah, he didn't hit too much. Comes Ozzie.
Ozzie had some big hits. We're talking about Ozzie Virgil in 85, one of the all-around good guys. Pump him up, Ozzie.
Guy is another old broadcast colleague, huh?
together with Teak this morning. Here's Kent DeCalvi. A lot of people remember Teak as being a member of those great Pirate teams, but he had some pretty good years here in Philadelphia, too. Teak is now running an independent league team south of Pittsburgh. Here's the Rock, Steve Bedrosian.
He had some bullets.
He sure did.
33 years in this ballpark, and acknowledging every year, and you see it starting to grow throughout the outfield, going from left to right. Bedrock just he just sat down out there on the mound. He's a beauty with it. Your classic relief pitcher, Andy.
Yeah, still wearing the socks the same way, too.
Here comes another one.
Oh, yeah. Well, this guy is legitimate because he's a left-hander.
This is another beauty right here.
This is our good friend Don Carmen. Did that game on Prism when the Phillies played the Mets, and this fella hit 2 home runs in the first inning.
And for a long time, the only player in the history of the game to do that, until a couple of Mariners did it, Mike Cameron and Brett Boone. But Ron Hayes had that record. And listen to the cheer for the guy that used to boo. That's nice.
The stick, and he wore number 9 because he was a fan of Ted Williams. Now, this gentleman still makes his home in the area. Lancaster, Pennsylvania's contribution to the '90 team, Tommy Herr.
A lot of his glory years against the Phillies for the Cardinals. Gosh, he was a tremendous player. Tommy coming here and contributing for a while.
A no-hitter in a Phillies uniform. He'll always be remembered for that. Tommy Green.
One of these fun guys to be around.
Bill and Nancy Giles enjoying the ceremonies as much as anybody here today.
Just great how many of these guys, they stayed in shape. They look great. It's fun to be around them this week. Here comes Dunky.
Duncan, always a smiling face. Another really good guy to be around.
Listen to this ovation.
Yeah.
See the emotions of faces a lot of these guys, Andy, as they're walking out. Yeah. They're feeling it.
We're going to 94 now, and Smikey Randy Reddy represents that team.
deal from San Diego. Had some good years here for the Phils. Now he's a minor league manager in the Brewers organization. Or I mean the Detroit organization.
In 95, Tyler Green joined the Phillies. And there's
Tyler still lives in the area, and here comes Gary Varsho, bench coach.
Ricky Vitalico first on the scene. The Bopen, Ed Wade.
The pupil. Ricky Vitalico was in camp with the Diamondbacks this year, hurt his arm and really didn't get the pitch that much. Still a young guy, he wants to keep playing baseball.
We already greeted his daddy, but here's Ruben Amaro Jr.
Now the assistant general manager of the Phillies under Ed Wade. Ruben doing a great job in the front office. Football coaching, basketball coaching up in Connecticut. Did some post-game stuff for us this year. Comcast post-game live, and here comes Gomesy waiting to get the ball game today and get a strikeout, and maybe his last batter that he ever faced. One of the great guys and heck of a pitcher that ever been in the game.
Retire. This is a terrific way for him to remember his final day in a big league uniform.
Yeah, takes a little dirt.
And here comes Vicente Padilla.
That's some year.
Banner coming out.
Billy Boy, all the way. Temple, Joe Kerrigan.
Another one of my broadcast partners.
That's right.
There's Chase Utley.
Brett Myers, of course. Brett Myers, first full season in the major leagues, won in double digits, and they have a lot of hope for Brett Myers to be some pitcher. The next guy coming out might have been their best pitcher all year. When you go right down to Real Cormier.
He really did. He had a terrific year. Where would the Phillies bullpen have been this year without Real Cormier?
His year started with standing boos. It's interesting. The first game here, he got booed almost out of the ballpark. And listen to this 6 months later. That's what baseball is. That's Kelly Stinnett. Came over to deal from Cincinnati.
Josh Hancock coming out now.
Got to pitch a couple innings today. behind him. Some of the guys from Scranton that got a call up in September, got some major league experience. That's Travis Chapman. Is Ryan Matson, the young right-hander, had a fine year at Scranton. Got his major league debut yesterday, puts a couple scoreless innings. And one other young player, Anderson Machado. A big hand for all these guys. Dan Baker's going to take it back pretty soon, Andy.
The starting lineups for the Philadelphia Phillies.
This will be, of course, the current player and some of the great Phillies from the past who have played the same position. These are the left fielders: Pat Burrell, Milt Thompson, and the Bull, Greg Luzinski.
And he will.
He'll let us know what's good out there.
Mighty Bull. Now we go to
what a group
the center fielders. Yeah, great center fielders have patrolled here, starting with this year's Marlon Byrd.
Marlon Byrd really had an unbelievable year once he got that leadoff spot, and a lot of hope for him.
Lenny Dykstra, the dude. One of the heroes of the 93 club coming out.
Well, this is a surprise for the fans right now. I mean, they don't know who's going to be coming out, and this is neat stuff. Gary Lee Matta.
There he is. Gary Lee coming next after the dude. Home run in the 83 World Series. Fielders, starting with the current occupant, Bobby Abreu, and you see that Blake McBride and Jim Eisenreich will be coming out. Izzy should get a tremendous hand. He was always one of the most popular players, even though he wasn't here all that long.
The hands are going to be sore.
Yeah, right.
There's Shake and Bake.
Shake and Bake, a St. Louis businessman now.
Got his knees replaced and he's walking pretty good.
Yeah.
Or a lot better.
Here's Izzy.
Oh, wait to hear this ovation.
Yeah. Is next. Here's Jim Comey. Boy, the fans loved him this year. too. Dick, don't call me Richie Allen.
Richard Anthony Allen, he's had a fun weekend. He still works for the ball club. He lights up the room when he walks in it. A wampum walloper. Next guy's going to get a few cheers, too. He's done a great job in the booth.
He has. He's been your colleague this summer. There he is.
My boy Johnny.
He's not an athlete. He's a baseball player. Blanco at second base.
That's Tomas now. Yeah.
Tomas now?
Yeah. I guess they moved a few things around. Glad to see Tomas is still around. So like I said, some guys probably have to leave a little early, but most of them are going to stick around, they thought.
But we know the fans will recognize the other two candidates we have at second base.
Manny Trio.
Here's Manny.
1,000-watt smile.
One of the best arms of any second baseman in the history of baseball. And another great fan favorite, Sammy Juan Samuel.
The all-vet team. Sammy with the Detroit Tigers, he had a long year. He's glad to be here.
Shortstop now and current occupant Jimmy Rollins.
They're pretty good guys coming out right now.
Really?
Jimmy and Kevin Stocker and Larry Bowl will get some ovation. Contain himself right here. There's David Bell. Phillies can't wait to get him back and healthy next year.
We're going to have some fan cheers for Dave Hollins and Michael Jack, too, when they come out. Here's Headley. Michael Jack, arguably the best player ever to have worn a Phillies uniform.
Oh, yeah. Here he comes. greatest ovation more than Michael Jack after what used to go on here.
He won him over, though, late in his career.
What a player.
You talked about not many players smiling on a ball field. We didn't see too many smiles out of Michael Jack anywhere during the years when he was a player here.
Here come the catchers.
Mike Aberthal will be followed by Booney and Dalton.
Series with the Yankees. I mean, in the playoffs, not the World Series yet. There's Dutch.
Here again, one of the most popular players from one of the most popular teams, the 93 club.
I hope the fans give Kevin Millward a nice cheer here now. I mean, it's a little tough afternoon here, but it's time to cheer this guy. He had a heck of a year for him. There you go.
Look at that Uni. Look at that Uni.
One night they wore that. That was enough.
Christensen became famous for actually pitching a game with a broken arm.
Right.
Amazing courage.
One game in that Union, that was enough.
See why?
Oh, that was ugly.
I wonder if he lost the straw vote to wear that thing today.
They're all getting a kick out of him. Yeah, they're getting a kick out of him coming out that thing. Cy Young Award winner John Denning.
JD still in baseball, working for the Diamondbacks.
Yep. Wow, what a show.
Well, they were the right-handed pitchers, of course. We're going to go to the left-handed pitchers next. Here's Randy Wolf. I suppose we're going to see Danny Jackson come out and pump him up, what do you think?
Oh, he'll give him a little shove.
I think.
And then the big left-hander will be along.
Oh, yeah, look at Harry's encouraging Danny Jackson down there to pump him up. There's DJ.
DJ will do something.
Oh, yeah.
The lefty waiting behind him.
You watch. There you go. Here comes Lefty.
Say no more.
Final curtain call for the Veterans Stadium Field of Memories Heroes. Let's all say goodbye to the vet in song. Would you all please join me in singing Old Lang Syne to our beloved Veterans Stadium? Closing ceremonies will continue with each player on the field getting one last chance to touch home plate. We'll begin with 1971 and Jim Bunning, the winning pitcher in the first game here in 1971, and we'll continue on through the years with the players touching home plate.
Jim Bunning, as Harry just said, to lead the charge, but after they all touch home plate, there's some other stuff coming. Don't leave.
Jim Bunning. No-hit pitcher Rick Wise. Don Money. Harry Harmon. Irish Mike Ryan. Guillermo Willie Montañez.
Mike Rogodzinski.
Wayne Twitchell.
Jim Lundborg.
T.T. Tony Taylor.
Manager Danny Ozark.
Gino Gene Garber.
Jay Johnstone.
Jerry Martin.
Warren Brewstar.
Big D Dallas Green.
Marty Bystrom.
Dickie Ray Knowles.
Dale Unser.
Ruben Amaro Sr.
Well, I'll tell you, up here in the booth, Andy Musser and I have goosebumps like boulders. I can't imagine what it's like down there in the field. Anthony Gargano, take it away.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's incredible. The tears are starting to flow. I'm watching the faces of Jim Toney and Lefty, and it's just all over the place. It's amazing.
My partner, L.A. Larry Anderson.
Ozzie Virgil.
Latique Kentacalvi.
Steve Petrosian.
Don Carmen.
Todd Pratt.
Von Hayes.
Tommy Herr.
Kate Tommy Green.
Mariano Duncan.
Mitchie Pooh, Mitch Williams.
Mickey Morandini.
Randy Reddy.
Tyler Green.
Gary Varsho.
Ricky Bottelico.
Ruben Amaro Jr.
Wayne Gold.
Rico Bronya.
Paul Bird.
Ramon Henderson.
Amari Telemaco.
David Coggan.
Brandon Duckworth.
Jason Michaels.
Nick Punto.
Tony Scott.
Carlos
The
Silva.
last pitcher to wear the Phillies strip pinstripes on this mound at the Vet, Dan Plesac.
Vicente Padilla.
Joe Kerrigan.
Chase Utley.
Brett Myers.
Riel Cormier.
Kelly Stinnett.
Jeff Geary.
Josh Hancock.
Ryan Meltson.
Travis Chapman. Anderson Machado.
Hef Farrell.
Uncle Milt Thompson. Jimmy Rollins.
Kevin Stalker.
Larry Boa.
David Bell.
Dave Holland.
Number 20, Mike Schmidt.
Kevin Millwood.
Harry Christensen.
John Denny.
Randy Wolf.
DJ Denny Jackson.
Number 32, Steve Carlton.
Darren Dalton.
Bob Boone.
And Mike Lieberthal.
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to present for you the final three memories of the great Veterans Stadium. Struck him out. 3,000 strikeout for Steve Carlton. On this great ball field here at Veterans Stadium, the final moment to take to the mound was time to get one last out. Who do you call on?
Number 44,
to take a lap, Andy, and there they go. What an unbelievable emotional ceremony that was.
Yeah, we'd like to congratulate those who put this together. I mean, Harry Callis did a great job, Dan Baker alongside, and of course, a real special salute to a guy who works very hard behind the scenes, Larry Schenk, who put this all together. Believe me, when you realize what went on here today, you know this wasn't done on a moment's notice. There he is, the Baron.
I'll tell you, it's tough to have a dry eye in this place right now, especially when Tug showed up. Oof. That was just fabulous.
Yeah, we got an advance copy of the script for much of today's ceremony, but not all of it. And we were not privy to know what was going on there at the end, and that was quite an emotional ride for everyone.
There's 1980 right there. Mike Schmidt, Bob Boone, Bull, Larry Ball, Dutch and Lenny behind them. What a great, great day. Wow. And the sun came out about 5 minutes ago. It was almost on cue. It's just beautiful here. Danny Jackson did rip his shirt open for everybody.
Well, we did predict that.
Yeah.
That's
There's He's DJ with the pump it up. There he goes.
That was the 93 bunch.
What a beauty. Oh, wow. When Tug came out of that car. Man.
Great to see Tug smiling.
Tomey right there with Ozzie Virgil. That moment of Mike Schmidt crossing home plate, the one home run king to the new home run king in this town. That was really touching. And Mike made a point of raising Jim Tomey's arm up in the air like, okay, I did it, but here's your new guy right here.
That's a good sign. Dutch man.
What a hero he was here. That's the ground crew coming out right now in the tuxedos. And those guys play a big part of this ballpark every day. And the players going over to see them.
And you talk about changing roles. They next year will be working with natural grass rather than taking care of AstroTurf or artificial turf as they have all these years. And that's a big change for those guys.
That's a real nice touch, too, to see the guys go over and see the guys on the ground crew. What do you have to say? Lefty.
That's all you need to say when you're left-handed and they call you lefty and nothing else. That says it all.
This was not scripted, Andy. This is just all spontaneous. It's just beautiful to watch. Sack might retire. Last pitcher to pitch here at Veterans Stadium for the Phillies.
And look how full this house still is. Not very many people have left. Those who came to the ball game today and wanted to see this closing ceremony.
This is a day, Andy, you get caught in traffic, so what? Who cares? What a year that man had. 47 home runs. Wow.
And a fan favorite. signed it.
Well, now that we know him, he's even better. The one thing about Tommy is he lets the fans know him, too. Al Holland, Ozzie Virgil, Steve Bedrosian. Whoa, Rock says he's a Mr. Emotion. What a warrior.
Nobody has a better time than Lefty.
Except maybe Dick Allen.
Well, that's right. But Lefty, one of those really serious guys when he was a player. People were afraid to approach him.
Well, he kind of liked it that way.
Yes, he did. But he did.
Great guy. Dallas Green, Paul Owens, Ed Wade.
Those are the folks that have put it all together these years.
So great to see Pope back at the ballpark. Bill Giles.
Of course, the one name that is missing from all of this is Pete Rose, and baseball rules prohibit Rose from participating in this kind of ceremony.
Well, we're really coming down to the end now. Tug's sons right there. A couple of his boys, Matthew, Mark.
Well, there you have it. It's time to say goodbye to Veterans Stadium. Thank you, you beautiful fans. You're the greatest in America. Everybody down in this field and everybody with the Phillies organization, we love you. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Thank you so much. And now, Veterans Stadium is like a 3-1 pitch to Michael Jack or to Jim Thome. It's not a long drive. It's out of here. God bless you.
Well, this has been an incredible ceremony, and we'll be back with more right after this.
A sentimental verse, nothing in my purse, and chuckles when the preacher said,
It's clearance time on a huge selection of Toyota trucks. There's still time to get 0% APR or $1,500 cash back on the full-size Tundra featuring a powerful I-Force V8. And don't miss your chance for this deal on the unbreakable Tacoma with $750 cash back. Toyota time. The time is now.
There are places that I know where people they can go to play that favorite game. Let's call it out by name. It's America's game, the one and only Powerball. I'm only gonna tell you one more time. It's America's game, the one and only Powerball.
over, that's the time I fall. When it's over.
Well, we've said our emotional goodbye to Veterans Stadium. It's time to look forward to the future. We're going to go to Citizens Bank Park right now, and Ron Burke.
Thank you, Andy. As we turn to the future, which is Citizens Bank Park, right next door to Veterans Stadium. They are so close in proximity, but worlds apart in terms of tradition and history. The Vet, as we've seen today, has ridden 30-plus years of history, and there were an outpouring of support, love, and tradition that we felt next door at Veterans Stadium. Here inside Citizens Bank Park, which in 6 months or so will be given birth to, the Phillies have an opportunity to forge a great history. Presently, the conditions here don't lend themselves to baseball of any kind. But as we've seen the Phillies do at different points over the years, this is a work in progress, a project that represents growth. I presently am standing at the spot where home plate will be located at Citizens Bank Park. And I tell you, as I look around, I can't wait to see. I see the smattering of seats so far in the upper deck. I see the beams. I see where the scoreboard will be. I look out beyond center field and I see Center City. I see a showpiece, a place where history can be written, and a message within these walls that presently are quiet but soon will become boisterous to Phillies fans, to Phillies players, to the organization. And that message says, get ready, everybody. Soon there'll be a new meeting place in town, a new place to write a different kind of history at a different place and a different time, in a great place to be a baseball fan. Let's send it back now to Chris Wheeler and Andy Musser.
All right, Ron, great job. Thank you so much for your help this afternoon. Another guy who was tremendous out there in the stands and all over the place, Anthony himself, Anthony Gargano. Take it away.
Hey, Wheels, what an amazing, emotional day. And as we look by and life just kind of oozing away, I'm going to miss it. It's an amazing place, and it's all about life. And we celebrated it for 30 years, and I'm weepy. Guys, thanks for having me. I'm going to miss the Vet. Take care.
Okay, there's not much more to be said, Wheels. I think this ceremony really said it all.
There's Larry Anderson down there on the bench just taking another look around, and I'll tell you, Andy, we have done a lot of that today, is just sit around here and look around this place.
I think L.A. was afraid if we brought him back up here, we'd put him to work again. Well, we'll be back with a final word from Veterans Stadium in just a moment.
Coming up on the King of Queens, an anniversary celebration.
Salsa dancing? That's got Split My Pants written all over it.
Turns into a gambling getaway.
Atlantic City. I'm in.
And all bets are off. Next on the King of Queens.
Monday night at 6 on UPN 57.
Your father and I went to the senior health fair yesterday.
What are the rides there? The plane to go around?
Everybody loves Raymond. Monday night at 6:30 on UPN 57.
Any way you want it. That's the way you'll get your new Explorer. Your Quality Plus Ford dealers are bringing you some of the best-selling vehicles in America. Like Ford Explorer with up to $6,500 cash back or 0% financing for 6 years. Or lease for only $299 a month with 0 down. The best-selling SUV on the planet. Explorer with up to $6,500 cash back or 0% financing for 6 years. Or lease for just $299 a month with 0 down. These deals end September 30th. See your Quality Plus Ford dealers now.
We are back here at Veterans Stadium, Andy, the final game ever played here this afternoon. And gosh, that unbelievable show. Aerials were provided by CBS 3 Eyewitness News. We certainly thank them for that. And I don't know. I mean, I'm drained.
Yeah, it was an emotional afternoon, and I think once again it bears saying that nobody puts on a better show than the Phillies when it comes to these kind of ceremonies. We've had so many great players here over the years, and the Phillies and Larry Schenk, who has maintained relationship with these players, has done a great job. And home plate's gone somewhere, Wheels. That's going to be one of the that one will not be sold. I don't know where that's gone, but that's special.
And there's Franny Dunn out there who's in charge of the mound. You know, we've talked about the mound. Their guys are like greenskeepers on a golf course. The guy who takes care of the mound, it's a very, very special job. And there's Franny right there with the pick, digging it up. Larry Anderson standing there to help. And there it goes. It will be headed out of here, and Franny Dunn will do another great job over at Citizens Bank Park next year. There
I said home plate, but of course that's the pitcher's mound right there.
It's the rubber,
pitcher's rubber.
And there's home plate.
Yep.
And there's the ground crew today. They were in tuxedos, and you know, for 30, some of those guys have been here since day one and have done such a tremendous job at Veterans Stadium. There goes Andy out there. He's had a few cocktails with him over the years.
What an afternoon at Veterans Stadium as we ring down the curtain. I want to thank you folks for having me back to join you here today, Wheels. It was fun. I don't guess we'll be asked to called upon to close down Citizens Bank Park. At least I hope not.
I don't think we're going to be called upon for that, but it was great having you here today, and just a wonderful ceremony. And as you said, Larry Schenk and his people did a great job. So many great players here today, memories over the weekend, memories today, and I'll tell you what, if you didn't have wet eyes watching that thing today, you don't have any switches.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us. It's been fun. It's a pleasure to participate in the final broadcast from Veterans Stadium, but this is it. Andy Musser for Chris Wheeler. So long, everybody.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good time that made us laugh, I'll wait them back. I thought we get to see forever, but forever's gone now. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I don't know where the road is going to lead. All I know is where we've been and what we've been through. If we get to see tomorrow, I hope it's worth all the wait. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And I'll take with me the memories to bring the sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. And I'll take with me the memories
You're running out of time to see the Phillies play at Veterans Stadium. Are you ready to fast forward to next season? 2004 Phillies.
Shop Acme for Pepsi 24 packs, 2 for $8.88 with SuperCard. Boneless, skinless chicken breast or center cut pork chops, $1.98 a pound. And Scott bath tissue and towels, 2 for $10 with SuperCard.
Oh, it's over late. Jimmy, I got your cookies. Yeah, aren't you glad we stopped?
Acme, helping make your life easier.
Angelo Cataldi Show, presented by Turnersville Auto Complex. Monday nights at 7, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to new Veterans Stadium at opening day.
That, of course, is the voice of the Phillies, Harry Callis. Hello, everyone. I'm Matt Yaloff, and this is our tribute to Veterans Stadium.
Philadelphia has the best fans in the National League.
Actually, this is about the people who walked through the gates and made Broad and Pattison their home. But we begin with one man whose blueprints are all over this place. He never hit 300, never struck out the side. But what this man did do 3 decades ago changed the landscape of Philadelphia sports forever.
I couldn't wait.
Pradeep Patel, a 27-year-old structural engineer in 1971, was about to work on the biggest job of his young career.
Not too often you get involved in a project like that.
A project that would cement the reputation of the Philadelphia sports fan, designing Veterans Stadium.
This whole planning and design of the stadium was talk of the town.
Set out on this journey.
Patel had no idea that his brand new $49.5 million multi-purpose sports facility would be talked about for the next 3 decades. Fodder for sports fans around the country. He was too busy cutting his teeth as a young engineer for McCormick Taylor Associates, the firm that helped design the stadium.
It was a challenge from the design point of view. It was a challenge from the layout point of view. It was a challenge from construction point of view.
But Patel met those challenges with innovation. He developed a unique design that helped support the mammoth construction of the upper deck without the use of cumbersome scaffolding from the ground. This plan thrilled Patel's staunchy 70-year-old mentor, saving time and lots of money.
I must give a lot of credit to Mr. McCormick that he had the guts to allow me to do that. At the same time, he felt comfortable that this was the way to do it.
Welcome to new Veterans Stadium at opening day.
It was just like you did a lot of work for last couple of years, and your dream is coming true. You can see something in front of your eyes.
Now the first hit, Veterans Stadium, and it goes justifiably to Larry Bowen.
Opening day was behind him, but his relationship with the vet was just beginning. Years later, he would be called upon to add super boxes and help restore the existing structure.
Time takes its toll.
And overtime battered the city's reputation. Decades passed, and cities sporting newer, single-venue arenas looked down and scowled at Patel's once state-of-the-art stadium.
At nighttime, people felt it was like a crown jewel of Philadelphia because the way the whole stadium was lit. That era was there for 10 years, and then time changed.
By design, Patel's plan served its purpose, but the teams who shared the turf at the Vet eventually wanted a home of their own, and Patel's dream project became a rude awakening. Still, as demolition nears, Patel speaks fondly of an era that changed his life.
That's a lifetime memory. And a sheer joy when you look at the facility and drive by and take your children. I took my parents many times. It is just a sheer joy. You go there and you feel something. You're part of Philadelphia, part of something you created. You can't ask for more than that.
As you might imagine, opening day was quite emotional for Pradeep Patel. We look back now at the very last opening day at the Vet.
best opener at the Vet Souvenir Scorecard Lineup Program.
60,000. That's what I'm told.
I love it. 60 strong.
It's like an Eagles game.
Opening day.
And there's a pencil to keep score. Thank you. Enjoy the game.
Tom Finnegan, lifelong Philly fan.
Programs and yearbooks.
The Vet, I've always liked it. In fact, I'm sorry to see it go. It's a very comfortable place, very intimate place. I like it.
Alcoholic beverages are also not permitted.
Prized possessions there.
Yes. Hopefully they won't destroy them when we go through the gate.
It's a historical day. I grew up in Philadelphia, and I went to a lot of Phillies games, but I never got a chance to go to a home opener. And I figured that would be a good opportunity to go with my son, Joe. And hopefully 25 years from now, when he's about my age, probably a little bit younger, actually, he might remember this day.
How you doing today? All right. Excellent. How are you?
Man, we got so many cheesesteaks going in, I can't stop making them. I just got to keep cooking them.
Actually, I'm from London, England, and I flew in last night, nearly 8.5 hours with a change in Boston, so it was worth it.
But you're here.
Oh, yes, I'm here ready. I'm ready for this game.
You know, the first and last only happen once at a time. I just love Philly baseball.
A lot of good memories. Right? Yeah, right. You don't have as many as I do.
But I know all good things come to an end.
You ready, Joe? All right, bud.
Of all the voices heard here cheering over the years, one fan's voice stood out above the crowd.
I just love doing it. It's second nature. Phillies are part of my blood.
Program's got the scorecard and the lineup. Get them now, folks.
I've been coming to Veterans Stadium, section 224, row 1, seats 6 through 11 since 1971.
Where's that? Is that over there?
And ever since, it's like a second home. Big weekend, huh, buddy? 3 in a row.
You got it.
Ready? My father, a long time ago, told me that if everybody always got a single, the team would never lose and they'd have to go to the World Series. How you doing, buddy? Beer for everybody. Go get him, Mookie! 33 years coming here. I love this place. Everybody strikes out! Woo-hoo! Come on, blow! Positive affirmations. When people hear things and they visualize it, a lot of times it happens. There we go, baby! That's right! Where you been? Where you been? Everybody strikes out! Woo-hoo! There we go! There we go, baby! Woo! High fastball, high fastball. Okay. High fastball. If it wasn't for my father, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm sitting right now.
Let me ask you now, is your dad still alive?
No, he passed away 3.5 years ago.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's all right. Come on, Ricky! There's nothing better than a father-son relationship going to a baseball game. You know, being out with everybody, having a good time, just emulating what all these athletes do. Is it yummy? You got cheesesteaks in New York? Come on, Ricky! Everybody hits! Woohoo! Start them up, buddy! So a lot of times when we do it, they get a hit. I've gone as much as 8 times in a row where there's been 8 consecutive hits. I've called grand slams, I've called home runs. That's it. Get a hold of one, Ricky. Over the Bud Light sign. What? There we go, baby. There we go. There we go, buddy.
Line drive, home run over the right.
Woo! That's what we're talking about. That's it, baby. Woo!
What do you say to people that say sometimes you're annoying?
It doesn't faze me one bit at all. Come on, Jimmy. Big hit, buddy. Big hit. Woo! Show them who can hit. Show these guys we can hit, buddy. Come on, work 'em, Bobby. Work 'em, baby. There we go, baby. There we go. There we go. That's 3 so far. It's just Come great. on, Jimmy. People cheer. People love to see the enthusiasm. You know, they know my voice. They throw me up baseballs. I give them the handicapped kids. I find out little kids that are sitting behind me, and I go up and give them the baseball. It makes them a fan for life. When the foul balls come, don't throw the hot dogs and the soda in the air. Trav, we got a little one over here. Got a little kid. Here you go, buddy. Here we go. Woo! All right. Everybody hits a homer. Woohoo! Come on, Jimmy. Everybody hits. Woohoo! Come on, touch them all, Jimmy.
Out of here.
That's the way, baby. That's the way. There we go, baby. Woo! Woo! That's the way, baby. That's the way.
From opening day to the fans of tomorrow, we'll tour the vet with some specially invited guests. A legal means of entry not taken by everyone through the years. Joe Conklin and friends give a whole new meaning to swinging for the fences when we return to Broad and Pattison in a moment.
Broad and Pattison, they called it home. Brought to you by Home and Infinity, where our name is our reputation.
Introducing the 260 horsepower adrenaline pump. The new G35 from Infinity.
Available at Home and Infinity, Route 38 Maple Shade.
100 miles, 13 laps from the speed-defying sprints to the high-climbing hills. Don't miss the excitement as top cyclists from around the world compete in the 2003 Univest Grand Prix from Souderton, Pennsylvania. Hosted by Ron Burke. Friday at 9:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet.
1 year.
1,000 young leaders.
In cities across the nation. City Year. 1 year.
Full-time. Mentoring.
Inspiring.
Organizing. City Year.
Transforming.
Teaching.
Motivating. 1 incredible.
Life-changing year.
In a lifetime of service.
Sure, someday you'll change the world.
Well, welcome to someday.
City Year.
City Year.
City Year.
City Year. Is this your year?
Last week on Comcast Sportsnet, if you just got the scores, you didn't get the whole picture.
Should be a lot of fun. That's kind of what it's all about, to be in this situation, this time of year, and try to move ahead.
A lot of people, are questioning the guys in here and question the team even. And I think, as long as we stick together and stay together and be strong, that, don't play those mind games because it'll have you going crazy.
The fact that we don't have a league period is just very disappointing.
Every day is game day on Comcast Sportsnet. Catch Singular Wireless Sports Rise weekdays from 6 to 11 on Comcast Sportsnet.
If you were lucky enough to have a ticket to the Vet, you may have seen one of the 2 All-Star games played here or one of the 3 World Series played at the Vet. But if you were really lucky, you might have had a tour of the place from a whiz kid.
This is the last tour that we have here. Today I have a tour with first grade children.
What are you doing?
And, these kids really enjoy it. They enjoy it. They get into it pretty good now.
have to wait.
I remember my first trip to the old ballpark Our school took us on a trip, and I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. The only thing I ask is don't run. If you run, you're rushing to get back to school. Just walk. Take your time. Enjoy it. All right? Here we go. Listen. Listen. Everybody sit down. Everybody. They get here 3:30 for a 7:05 game. Anything they want to eat and drink is in this room. After the game, they have a full course meal. Anything they want. When they walk out on the field, I would say 7 out of 10 say, "Oh my God, oh my God." Good to hear. You know, they can't believe the size of it. All the students over here, over here. Everybody sit down. To sit in the dugout where the Phillies sit.
Yeah?
They love it, yeah. Everything here will have a race. Girls will be next. The boys follow me. I'll miss it very much. A lot of great memories, a lot of great games, great ball players played here. I'm going to miss it. This is Larry Bowen's office, the manager. He has an office, a little shower, a little kitchen.
You know, the neighborhoods around the Vet are filled with kids who lived for a ticket to get inside this stadium. Kids like Joe Conklin, who could not afford the price of admission.
Hey, Phillies Express! Track 2 and 3! Hey, doggy! Hey, tickets. Who's got tickets? Hey, peanuts! Hey, who needs 2? Court corner! Court corner!
Hey, 22 years ago, I was an aspiring filmmaker. A lot of things have changed. You lose some hair, turning gray. Cameras are a little bit different, but one thing remains the same. The thrill of the big sneak, climbing into the vet.
Introducing the Jump Squad, the Warriors, Karen, Deese, Johnny, Jamie, and Puppy. He's now an engineer. Little did we know.
Take roll, everybody's all set. There's one thrill of sneaking into the vet, but getting yourself on camera sneaking in the vet is even better. It was a quick ride from Fern Rock to Broad and Patterson. My 16mm camera was rolling as our crew emerged from the subway. We had to take a step back, case the joint a bit, so to speak. We had to assess the situation. We get right outside the stadium. The place is buzzing with cops. They're all over the place. They're on foot, they're outside, they're inside, they're up on the first level there, they're on motorbike, they're in their cars, and they even called out the big daddies, the cops on horses too. And we knew we had a situation. You got yourself a situation here, mister! You got a situation! Now things really started heating up. Now, a good cameraman never gets in his own shot, but I had to do my little Hitchcock cameo. That's me right there in the red.
The young man doesn't notice the police forming behind him. Good evening.
With 5 minutes to go before kickoff, we had to make our move. Puppy Hunt was first. Here he goes. Boom! Look at him! Look at him. He's got that cheap Sears bomber jacket with the hood on underneath. Oh, he's up. Here he goes. He's up. He's in. Jamie, oh, good form. He's the youngest of the group. A rookie, he's up and over.
Not only did Joe and his boys sneak into the vet, but they got right down there on the sidelines. Here's the cheerleaders. Everybody's in tight.
Well, I'll tell you what, by golly, if I ever caught that Conklin and his boys climbing into the vet, boy, we'd put a clothesline on him and I'd knock him silly.
Hey, 22 years later, same spot. I think I can still get in.
Here he goes, surveying the outside of the stadium.
And it's wide open. Here we go. Dave throws himself onto that wrought iron, that wily body pulling himself up there. He's got his feet along the concrete, and he's pulling himself up on the steel cage of the fence. There, pulls himself onto the aluminum railing. He is inside Veterans Stadium, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Woo! He climbed up the wall and went inside the game. Did you like that?
Hey, watch. We got to tighten security around here. Let's tighten it up.
Not only did Joe gain access illegally, once inside, it seems he stole the voice of the Phillies. And when it comes to Philadelphians, it seems everyone has tried to steal the voice of Harry the K.
Again, everyone, welcome to beautiful Veterans Stadium. Just a fantastic day for baseball.
Here's the pitch. Here's the pitch. Here's the pitch.
Here's the pitch.
Swing it a long drive. Swing a long drive. Swing a long drive. And it's a long drive. And long drive. It's a long drive. It's a long drive. Long drive.
Swing a long drive.
Watch that baby. Watch that baby.
Watch that baby.
Watch that baby. Watch that baby.
Watch that baby.
Long drive. Watch this baby out of here. Watch that baby. It's got a chance.
It got a chance.
And that baby's out of here.
Watch that baby out of here. Home run. This baby is out of here. That ball is out of here.
Out of here. Home run. It's out of here.
Out of here. Home run. Out of here. Home run.
Could it be? It could be. It's got a chance.
Way out of here. Way out of here. Way out of here. Out of here. Home run. Way out of here.
Out of here. Home run. Phillies win the game in dramatic fashion in the ninth inning. Oh, baby.
Hard to believe, Harry.
Out of here.
He was the voice, but his were the images that have accompanied Harry Callis to the small screen. When we return, we go behind the camera and deep under the vet for a very different view of Broad and Patterson and another man who called it home.
Haven't you always wanted to own a piece of Vet Stadium? It's like owning a piece of history.
It's like owning a piece of my soul.
And now you can, by purchasing a pair of authentic, vintage Vet Stadium seats. Each pair of seats comes with its own certificate of authenticity, and each carries the unique patina that can only come with the passage of time. Mustard.
Vet Stadium seats are on sale now. Call 215-463-1000 or visit Phillies.com.
Coming up on tomorrow's edition of Daily News Live, Eagles linebacker special teamer Ike Reese joins us to discuss the Eagles' win over the Bills and preview Sunday's NFC East battle with the Redskins. Phil Collins and Stan Hockman will talk 2003 Phils and take a walk down Vet's memory lane. We'll preview the Major League Baseball playoffs and sneak in some Flyers talk. Tune in at 5 for Daily News Live.
Yes, you're lovely. Never ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight.
See Jeff D'Ambrosio Suzuki, Lancaster Avenue, Fraser, or Victory Suzuki, Lincoln Highway in Coatesville.
Their songs are an essential part of America's soundtrack.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel together again, live in concert. Simon and Garfunkel in concert, December 9th at Wachovia Center. Tickets go on sale this Monday morning at 10 at the box offices, Ticketmaster, charge by phone or online. Simon and Garfunkel together again.
Of all the people who made their home at Broad and Patterson, the players took up residence for the least amount of time. Yet it's their images that made the vet come alive. Through one eye and a lens, Video Dan captured them all for the Philadelphia Phillies.
My first day of work was in the opening day of 1982, and I'll never forget it because we got snowed out.
Well, I had my own business, shooting weddings, things like that, back in the 70s. And I was tending bar on the side to make ends meet, and I got to know Chris Wheeler. And when Dallas Green left for the Cubs, he took the video man with him. And Chris Wheeler said, well, we need somebody. So the next thing you know, they never checked my resume or anything. Next thing I know, I'm in spring training, 1982. We are in the bowels of Veterans Stadium, directly behind home plate. A lot of late nights, early mornings, rain delays, you name it. There's been a lot of hours logged in this place. We didn't have too much raw footage from 80 left around.
You could have gone in there 3 years ago and gotten a piece of pizza from 1984.
I did find Larry Anderson highlights. I think it's about 20 seconds long.
It's not watchable. It's snowy, grainy.
Pretty much it for his career, 20 seconds of highlights. Well, the best part about this job is I get to be a storyteller. And the story basically remains the same year in, year out. It's about a baseball team.
Are you gonna do the dugout again tonight?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be doing it all weekend. I have pretty much total access to everything that goes on around here, but the key to longevity around here is to know when not to tape things. This is a pretty good rally song they're playing now. I just don't know if there's any profanity in it or not.
He's always in everybody's face.
Say something good.
He's always following you. It's like you got the CIA walking around with you all the time.
Telly, why aren't you stretching, man? Players know if they see me with a camera and they're doing something or saying something that might not be appropriate, they know that nobody will ever see it. So it's basically having sense enough to know what to use and what not to use.
It's all right, I'll bleep it. That's why they invented the bleep button.
One of the greatest nights here was the night that ended at 4:40 in the morning with Mitch Williams getting the hit, which was so bizarre in itself. But walking out of the truck ramp at 5:30 in the morning and seeing the sunrise as I was leaving work was one of the funniest things. I mean, it was just tremendous. It was such a great night, and it's the only sport where that could happen.
Can you believe it?
Bring it on.
He's been a part of everybody and everything that's ever had anything to do with Philadelphia Phillies baseball. All the video, all the tributes, all the highlights, everything everybody sees, the Fanatic video, he's done it all.
It's been a great ride here. I mean, this stadium, and I'll never forget this place. And the way I look at it, it's like the house you grew up in might not have been the greatest house in the world, but at least you can maybe drive past it and say, I remember when I was a kid there. Well, you won't be able to drive past this place. It'll be a parking lot now, and that, to me, is very sad.
He's a fixture. He's definitely a fixture of this stadium, a part of this stadium, and hopefully he'll be imploded with it.
Video Dan will take his camera and move with the rest of the Phillies into the team's new ballpark. As for Pradeep Patel, the man who helped build the Vet, well, he oversees design for the Phillies' new home. For all of us at Comcast Sportsnet, I'm Matt Yeloff. Thanks for watching.
On behalf of the Philadelphia Phillies, we thank you very much.